Good morning. I want to thank LSI for the opportunity to be here with you today, and on behalf of my world-class team, who are truly brilliant and passionate scientists and technologists, I want to introduce you to MultiplAI Health and to the world's first ever RNA-based and AI-enabled genomic screening tool for the extremely early detection of cardiovascular and other complex diseases. I want to start by orienting you to a problem that we all face in this room and happened to my friend Mark. Mark was a 35-year-old executive living his best life in New York City. As an executive of a multinational firm, he had an elite team of doctors at his disposal, and they shared with him that apart from slightly elevated blood pressure, that he was at very low risk for developing any chronic diseases. And so it was a shock to him and his family when just a few weeks post his well visit, he found himself in the hospital with acute back and chest pain, and he was told he was having a heart attack. Sadly, many of you have heard stories like this, and this is not uncommon. Mark had been improperly classified as to his true risk of cardiovascular disease. And this is the problem that MultiplAI is aiming to solve. We know that the statistics are just terrible. Every 40 seconds, because we don't diagnose and don't prevent cardiovascular diseases in the way that we could, every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack in our country. 50% of those people, unfortunately, die from that event. And the other 50% of them who are hospitalized, we know that half of them, like Mark, had none of the known risk factors. The World Health Organization, the NIH, and even the CDC are all sounding an alarm bell saying this shouldn't be happening. 80% of these events are, in fact, preventable through early detection. MultiplAI has spent the last 3.5 years developing a solution for a personalized and precision medicine tool that will be able to properly classify individuals. And our solution leverages key advances in science and technology, starting with genomic sequencing, it's RNA sequencing. We have a patented data transformation process, and artificial intelligence helps us to make sense of the billions of data points that we generate. And through this, we will finally be able to introduce a comprehensive solution that gives a thorough view of all the risk factors that will support personalized medicine, early detection of disease, and even targeted therapies. I want to walk you through how we do this. It seems at a regular physician well visit to a patient and to a physician a very standard process, a blood draw that leads to a lab report. However, in our case, things are very different between the blood draw and the report. In the first place, with the blood draw, we don't separate the blood into its component parts. We look at absolutely everything in the blood sample, including in the microbiome. Then we look at RNA as the molecule. It's our hypothesis that we have proven that RNA captures the environmentally acquired risk factors in addition to those that are inherited. Our particular technology applies to multiple pathologies, so we'll be able to use one blood test for a multitude of information. And I think one of the most important things about our test is that it's not a one and done test. This test can be taken as a baseline to figure out what risk you have, and then post any kind of an intervention that you and your doctor determine, you'll be able to retake the test and we can assess that change. So once the blood draw has happened and it's gone through an extensive RNA sequencing, we put it through a proprietary data transformation process that takes us to a digital biomarker that we call a super biomarker, which has a genome of reference behind it. And it is an image that we feed through a neural network to provide a truly personalized risk assessment that is tailored to you specifically and highly actionable. As I mentioned, we've spent the last 3.5 years. When we set out on this project, we certainly had that hypothesis about RNA really trapping the environmentally acquired risk factors. But to do that, there was no commercially available surrogate data or information or even extracted RNA. So we had to create all of our own data to be able to provide this product. And we did so through our own clinical studies. And that generated masses of biological information, and we used over 800 algorithms to finally harmonize all of that data and provide our product. This is the result from just our first clinical trial, and we're pretty excited about it because we are already at a 35% higher accuracy than the clinical gold standard at the moment. And you can see that we have a balanced sensitivity and specificity, and we were able to reclassify a huge section of the people in our study to a higher risk category. As well, we are able to determine in our, for our initial product the presence or absence of fatty liver disease, making our first test actually a cardiometabolic risk assessment. We have plenty of competition in the liquid biopsy space who are looking at disease detection through liquid biopsy, but very few of our competitors are actually looking at RNA as a molecule that picks up both the inherited and the acquired risk factors. And as you see, we're out on our own when you include the fact that we are looking at whole blood. Partnerships have been the cornerstone of our strategy since our inception, and you'll notice that we've had a very nice partnership with Illumina. We came through their accelerator, and they have been an investor. And here's the traction that we've had in the last 3.5 years. You'll notice we have 3 business units. We are located in the US, actually in Europe. We have a company in Argentina and also in the UK where we're headquartered. I'd call your attention to the regulatory IP line. We have filed and received 1 patent. We have many other patents coming for this company. And you see that we're in the go position here in 2024 through a CLIA LDT lab arrangement to come to market to commercialize in the back half of 2024. And we're anticipating a break-even point and also approaching the FDA in 2026. The market opportunity, the sheer scale of it is astounding. In addition to these channels, we also have some interesting market factors that are fueling our growth. One of them is a real understanding of the importance of health data to make data-driven decisions in healthcare. The other one, sadly, is a rise, and an untenable rise, in fact, in chronic disease. And of course, there's the discussion of value-based care and outcomes, and this is truly an outcome-driven solution. It's going to take us a couple of years to get into all of these categories, but at that point we will be far more than $1 billion company. But we're taking them off one by one and doing them carefully. The first one will be to primary care specialists who are practicing in concierge medicine. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Our product can be offered, as I mentioned, in this standard blood draw and lab report, but we can also disassociate our product such that we can offer our algorithm as a dry lab computational aspect to any lab or any other technology. We can offer our algorithm as a service, and ultimately we'll be offering it direct to consumer. But underpinning all of that, you see, is the collection of a vast amount of healthcare data. As I mentioned, our initial beachhead is this concierge marketplace, and really here we have a value alignment. Physicians in concierge medicine tell us that they're looking for genomic insights to share with their patients, and that their patients are willing to pay out of pocket for additional health insights. And we are significantly de-risking our journey forward by going to these markets that we've spoken to and we know are interested in a better classification for risk tool. We're going to be coming out at about $500 through some interesting commercial partners, and our customer acquisition strategy is going to have to involve equal amounts of education and advocacy from KOLs to support our B2B sales force. And we will be, of course, taking a lap and making sure that everything is in good order with a pilot and a beta launch. And we have an absolutely incredible team, a global team. We are in 4 countries, and you'll notice here that my friend Mark is one of the co-founders of the company, so he did well post his heart attack. And we have an absolutely incredible team, including advisors who have also built companies like ours to successful exit. So we hope that you're going to be able to join us on a HealthSpan revolution. The QR code here will take you to our digital prospectus that has a deep dive into the science and technology. You can also find it under superbiomarker.com. Thank you so much.